Hello everyone. It's me again, Steedo. Long story short, I, this had come out last night, or at least when I was asleep, to my knowledge. Unfortunately, I went to bed earlier because I wanted to record some gameplay for the Naruto beta that's happening today. And I was thinking, hey, everyone was talking about how great this trailer is. I didn't watch anything else on it because I wanted to make my first ever reaction at least genuine. So we'll see if the trailer lives up to the hype. Uh, Hopefully, I mean, I already have some things I can guess that are gonna be in the trailer. We'll see if they come into fruition afterwards. But for now, I'm just gonna jump right in and see how this is.
Why do you seek even more strength than you have already?
Bulma looks. I mean, Shintani's art for Bulma looks good. Okay. A new Saiyan? Oh, I could have guessed. Um, this art style is really nice.
That must be the guy. I don't know who he is, but his energy's absurd.
The new Broly looks a lot better than his previous base form.
How is this possible?
Oh yeah, Vegeta fighting. He's gonna lose that. Let's just be honest. And then Goku versus Broly too. Oh, he even did the chest blast. Wow. Okay. Oh, Super Saiyan God is back. Okay, that's cool. That's always cool. Saiyan warrior race. What do you see? Okay, so Broly has to be a part of the Frieza Force, right? Well, he'd have to be. He was on that ship. Oh, and Goku's shirtless, so we already know what's going on. When Goku goes shirtless, we already know what time it is. Story of an unknown Saiyan. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, so I genuinely think that was actually a good trailer. Although, again, this is Dragon Ball, so I wasn't expecting a lot of new things. I was expecting fights, fights, and oh look, fights. And Dragon Ball Super seems to have the trend of there needs to be at least a necessary Saiyan-based thing every time. I know this. Ah, God, another story. Okay, so Battle of Gods we had Super Saiyan God. Revival of F we had Super Saiyan Blue. Universe 6 we had Cabba. Goku Black Arc we had Super Saiyan Rose and Goku Black. And in the Tournament of Power we had the female Saiyans. I'm not saying they were the main thing of the arc, but there was a heavy emphasis on them for majority of the arc. Probably more stuff actually went on with them than they did with Goku and Jiren, because every single time Goku fought Jiren, it was just him losing until he transformed into Ultra Instinct. So, again, I'm not surprised. The movie would also be Saiyan-focused, because Dragon Ball Super should probably just be renamed to Dragon Ball Saiyan. Besides from that, I think it looks genuinely good. It seems Broly arrives through a Frieza ship. I mean, we all saw that he came through the doors on Frieza's giant ship. I was expecting him to fight Frieza, but it seems like he kind of turns against Frieza. I mean, did Paragus steal a Saiyan ship? That might be another thing, maybe. One interesting thing to also note is that there was, it seemed like there'd be stuff of the past that was relevant. Like, they showed some Saiyan history stuff, or at least a Saiyan that was wearing, like, Cabba Vegeta style armor as well. So that, I think that'll be interesting. Hopefully that goes somewhere, because again, Dragon Ball isn't strong for its story. Then again, this is being done by Akira, and he at least puts a lot more effort in than the original animators. So I'm sure he can, come up with something that'd be at least a bit decent rather than Broly just cries, so that's why he hates Goku this time. Another cool thing to note is Broly was actually also fighting Goku. He was fighting Goku in his base form. I don't want to call it a base form yet, because he might have a powered up version of the base form. He had like an actual eye color going on in the original trailer. So I don't know if he has a powered up base form Super Saiyan then Legendary Super Saiyan. Either way, yeah, he was able to fight Goku in his base form compared to the old Broly, who would always have to transform at the sight of Goku. So I don't know if he still has a Goku based vendetta here. If he doesn't, that would probably be better. But at the same time, I don't know what other reason they could give him for being so mad all the time. I think Vegeta versus Broly is gonna be a I mean, I don't really think I need to explain what I think of Vegeta versus Broly. One thing I will say that is noticeable, they did show this before earlier, I just didn't say anything about it, but Broly is obviously still being controlled. If you couldn't tell, instead of it being gems across his armor this time, it's now a neck device. Because, I mean, it's not there when he's a legendary Super Saiyan later on, so it's pretty obvious that, you know, it breaking causes him to lose control or he breaks it himself. And as for Vegeta versus Broly, there's a good reason why I don't see Vegeta for the rest of this trailer. I think that answers Vegeta versus Broly. I'm really sorry for it to turn out like that, but honestly, it's Vegeta. You shouldn't expect a lot from him. He's just there to lose, so you know how strong the villain is. From what I can gather, if the only reason Broly would be fighting Frieza in actuality, in my opinion, is that Paragus genuinely did steal that ship, or it's just a kind of spaceship. Maybe there's lots of that spaceship model, and Paragus did steal it. Because now that I think about it, I don't think the guys standing next to Broly were Frieza soldiers. They're wearing full helmets, just like in the old Broly movie, where Paragus had a full, a squad full of full helmeted individuals. So Paragus probably did just steal the ship. His reason for coming to Earth, I'd assume the same reason in the Broly movie. If this is just a reboot of the Broly movie, I'd be kind of disappointed. Because a lot of things are appearing very similar. But Frieza probably shows up because he's like wondering what the hell is going on Earth and gets bullied. Like so. We did see Frieza transform golden, but again, just like Vegeta, I think there's a good reason why he's not in the rest of the trailer. I mean, the rest of the trailer is just Goku. So, yeah, I don't think I need to expand on this anymore. There are a few things that interest me, like this shot. This shot is... It makes it seem Broly is going to have some sort of character or backstory of some kind. I mean, I want to assume the smaller hand is Broly's, based on the fact that we can see that he's wearing a black gauntlet with white finishes at the end, compared to the other hand, which doesn't seem to bear any of the colors that Broly bears now. I don't know who the individual Broly's touching hands with. Maybe it's Paragus, maybe it's a different Saiyan, maybe it could be anyone. Maybe it's Yamoshi, guys. The fact they have Saiyans in weird tubes is... I don't know. Maybe I'm probably jumping the gun here, but I would assume Paragus is doing genetic engineering stuff, like making new Saiyans from DNA. I don't know. It could be anything, because I don't know what reason they'll use to establish why Broly is so strong. Considering he's a character that must have existed in their universe the whole time. I'd assume he would have had to exist in their universe the whole time for him to be as strong as he is. But if he was just genetically engineered to be as strong as he is, that would also make sense. Because then you'd have issues like when Goku asks Whis, hey, is it true that there's mortals that are stronger than gods? Whis could have been like, oh yeah, we also have this really overpowered guy called Broly in our universe. We could probably just bribe him into the tournament. But Broly would have... I don't know. Again, it's a movie, you have to watch it to get all of these answers. I don't know what... well, Broly's obviously still the legendary Super Saiyan, but are they gonna call it Super Saiyan Berserk again? Is he a Berserk Super Saiyan, not a legendary one? It's really weird. I don't know, the genetic engineering, because even at the end of the trailer, they have like clearly an infant Saiyan with a tail in like a tube of some sort. So I want to assume this is a genetically engineered Broly. Would that make him the first genetically engineered Saiyan in Dragon Ball? That'd be new, right? I don't count Cell. No one counts Cell as a Saiyan. Come on, just be honest. And it'd be a good way to kind of incorporate some nonsensical Bio Broly in there as well. I mean, Broly has a weird scar on his chest, which is the exact same place he takes his first hit. I'm gonna call it a hit. The exact same place he takes his first hit when he gets dipped into the sun in the second movie he comes back in. Not that that movie was canon, but it'd be a nice, I don't know, it'd be a nice reference to that if there's no backstory behind his amount of scars on his body. And of course, yeah, they could incorporate Bio Broly by having him be a genetically engineered Saiyan rather than born. I feel like that'd be an interesting plot point. I want to say this now, but like the imagery for the movie, I know I'm not too reactant of a guy. I can only fully show myself, I guess, if there's something I wasn't expecting. Because I was expecting the art to be great, and I was expecting to see the stuff you expect to see in these kind of trailers. I was obviously going to see Super Saiyan Blue. The only things that caught me off guard was probably Super Saiyan God and Golden Frieza in the trailer. I would say those are the only two things that caught me off guard. I knew Super Saiyan... no, I knew Golden Frieza would at least be in the movie. I didn't think Super Saiyan God would be in the trailer. So that caught me off guard. But one thing I do want to say, because I went way too off topic there, was the scenery is gorgeous. It's very, very nice. It's really hard to ignore that. Everything looks great. Everything looks really, really good. I'm gonna wrap up my thoughts on this. I'll try and quick summary everything I gathered, rather than you know, continue to hypothesize and theorycraft, because that's a bit lame. But yeah, Broly is really strong, as you would guess. Like a legendary Super Saiyan, actually like any Saiyan, actually like any character, or anything in Dragon Ball Super. He progressively gets stronger over time, because nothing can have a fixed level of power or have a power that gradually increases. It just needs to jump from one place to another. Vegeta's gonna lose, probably. Let's be generous. He'll probably take his first L 30 minutes into the movie. I feel like that's generous. Frieza... Is Frieza gonna do something in this movie? He just kind of seems like he's there. I don't know, maybe Frieza will do something. He seems intrigued in Broly's power, but Frieza's the same guy who was intrigued in literally everyone's power in the Tournament of Power. He was complimenting on Kefla's power, on Toppo's power, on anyone who powered up. So again, characters just kind of say things and you're just like, yeah, okay, you're just kind of speaking because you have to. You don't actually have anything important to say, do you? Although the same could be said about me. So yeah. The music is really, really good. The music is very good. Jesus. I don't know what I can say about that, but this is the English trailer. So it probably won't sound like this at Japanese hearing, but then again, I'm probably gonna watch the movie Japanese regardless, because it's Dragon Ball. You don't really need to read the... I mean, if you don't read any of the text in the Tournament of Power, you'd still get what's going on. You didn't have to understand the word that they say in the Tournament of Power, and you'd still get what's going on. Because they don't explain Ultra Instinct. Goku gets hit by his own attack. There you go, it's there. So, you can probably watch the movie without understanding anything. And still understand the whole plot of the movie. Broly didn't really speak in this trailer, but I will say I did really like his voice. I don't know, maybe it's just me, because of course it's a trailer. They're gonna mix audio to make things sound more impactful at certain times. So again, you can't judge everything you hear on a trailer. But I don't think it's the old Broly voice actor. I don't think he's ready to reprise his role as Broly again. It seems they're portraying him as a bit more human or smarter. Because the old Broly, don't get me wrong, the old Broly did speak full sentences, even as a legendary Super Saiyan. But he's projected as mostly an idiot. If you ask anyone, hey, how smart is Broly? They'd say, I don't know. He just says Kakarot. He doesn't really seem to reek or even have a semblance of any form of intelligence. Despite how smart he is, he didn't come across as smart to anyone. This Broly, on the other hand, though, he does seem like he's a person. Of course, he is being controlled by Paragus, so that's keeping his humanity in check, I assume. And on top of that, as a legendary Super Saiyan, he's definitely going to go berserk. I mean, how did we get an Iceland to now a seemingly active volcano? So that's definitely... I mean, you saw the big explosion in that trailer. That massive explosion is probably caused by gigantic, whatever they want to call that attack. They keep changing the name, Omega something, gigantic something, blaster something. It's one of those words. One of those three is always the name of a Broly attack. So he probably does a really big attack that destroys the area and turns it into the living hell that is. One thing that is nice to know is that his armor probably breaks off after... I mean, the scene where we see Goku's about to get engulfed by a big green blast. I'm assuming his armor is going to break off then, because all the pictures we've seen of Broly and everything we've seen of him is a shirtless legendary Super Saiyan, not a armored legendary Super Saiyan. Despite that, I do hope in future media, for example, stuff like games and other forms of entertainment where Broly will make an appearance, I do hope we get an armored and unarmored variant of him. Because with other media like Budokai, Tenkaichi, and Xenoverse, guaranteed with Tenkaichi we did get Broly in all three of his forms, Base, Super Saiyan, and Legendary. In future media or current media like Xenoverse, Broly is just Legendary because that's his only relevant form, or his only form that really does anything. Whereas this Broly, he can fight armored, powered up, maybe he has a regular Super Saiyan, maybe he doesn't, and he can fight as a Legendary Super Saiyan 2 with still his armor on before it eventually comes off. And one last thing to say, Ultra Instinct Goku is probably going to one-shot Broly, because it makes no sense to not have that be in the movie, right? Unless if... Yeah, Ultra Instinct Goku is probably going to just kill him in one hit. I don't have... don't get me wrong, I'm excited for this movie, but I don't think any of the things I say can really add to the discussion of his backstory or his character or anything. Because again, this is just a trailer and we're just kind of theory crafting. But this seems to be exactly the movie I expect it to be. I'm not saying that makes it a bad movie. So long as it's not Revival of F, then it's not a bad movie. I expect exactly... I mean, maybe something, because again, we didn't see too much of Frieza's force, but again, like I said, it seems Frieza's whole inclusion in this movie might be pointless. Vegeta needs to be in the movie because we need someone to get the crap beaten out of them. And Goku needs to defeat the villain, so... Our three main characters. It was nice to see Piccolo and the others, of course, appear for a little bit, but they're not going to do anything. They're just going to lose in one hit or whatever. Again, there was a Dragon Ball in this, there was a semblance of a Dragon Ball in this. Again, if they are incorporating elements of the other Broly movies into this, they might make a wish mid-fight, like how they did in the second Broly movie. Of course, that wish was really half-assed in the second movie, but nonetheless, it was still a wish that actually happened. So, maybe we'll see Shenron in the movie. Then again, it's called Dragon Ball. If we don't get Shenron in the movie, it's not really living up to its title, is it? We got him in Revival of F, ended in Battle of Gods. So yeah. That will be the end of my thoughts and reaction and theory crafting. I'm gonna say it's theory crafting because it's exactly what I expected. But if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like on it if you liked it. And subscribe if you enjoy what you see and you aren't subscribed already. Without further ado, I will see you in the next video. Peace.